Okay. Now, okay. I'm glad I got everything set up like it works normal. All I gotta do is press a button. Great. Okay. Um, I want to get on live today. I'm on Twitch and I'm on Facebook, so I might start doing on Instagram eventually, but I really don't see the uh, push for that. I just been seeing the push of Facebook, uh, Twitch, Rumble, a few others, but anyway, I wanted to talk about. I do a lot of these topics because real deal, we are divided as a whole, and I'm just pointing it out. And they say, you know, repetition is the best way to teach people, to show people, to get people to think about certain things. And you ain't even gotta listen to everything I say. It's just I just want people to think about certain stuff. Oh, a lot of content and videos and gurus, a lot of that stuff is toxic to our community. And all I do is point it out. I'm not saying I'm, like I always say, I'm not an expert. Kind of relationships, dating, all that, but I know I know nonsense, and I know when someone's trying to deceive people or try to make them uh, think, get false reads and have a false perception when it comes to certain things, especially with dating. So I always point those out, and they use that to keep men and women single, to keep households divided, and I hate that. I hate that it's happening, and I hate that it's working. That's one main thing. I hate that it actually works because it keeps us it because you have the content creators that tell the men that you don't have that uh you can treat women like crap and you don't have to do nothing for the woman. And you don't have to bring nothing to the table. And you are the prize. And then they tell the women the same thing. So now when they get together trying to date, it's like this. You trick the men into requiring everything of the woman, and you trick the woman into requiring everything out of the man. So when you try to date, it's like this. Because everyone's listening to gurus and not actually using their own brain, their own mindset, their own way of thinking. They're using other people's thoughts, other people's lifestyles, other people's train of thought. That's why a lot of dating isn't working. Because you apply other people's thoughts, other people's methods, and it's not the same for everybody. That's why sometimes it's best to turn off the social media every now and then and assess yourself. Find out who you are. Find out what you want. Find out what your purpose is. That's why I always say relationships are purpose driven because it's not the same for everybody. No one meets the same person. Not everyone has a Cinderella story. Not everyone just has this. What is it? The Boaz story. Not everyone's gonna have that. But if you're on the internet following if people that are giving you falsified information and fictitious advice, this fairy tale fantasy mindset, it's always gonna wind up. It's always gonna wind up wrong. It's gonna wind up. You're gonna be somewhere spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere. The best thing to do is, at least one day out of the week or out of the month, even turn this crap off and assess yourself. Get get back to your own thoughts. Because if you really serious about uh, getting your life on track, even when it comes to dating and anything like that, I would suggest talking to a counselor or therapist. That's where I got a lot of my wisdom from, therapists, pastors, um, because I don't even know everything. I just know a lot of bullcrap out here is bullcrap because you don't have to be the richest person in the world to date. You may not need to be flat out broke. If you don't have a house, if you don't have a basis, you might want to focus on priorities first. But you don't have to be the richest. You don't have to have $50,000 in the bank. You don't have to give a woman $50,000 to speak to her. I know those things. There may be some foundational things required when it comes to courting, when it comes to dating, but you definitely don't need $50,000 to speak to her. You definitely don't need to make six figures to date. Like, you have all these people telling you you need six figures in order to date. If you're not making $300,000 a year, you can't date. Those things are absolutely ridiculous, and it's beyond ridiculous. And I'm just here to point it out. I'm going to keep pointing it out because, sometimes I may come off harsh, but I know it's a lot of stuff. They're feeding people. They're trying to brainwash people. They're trying to deceive people. They'll tell you certain things that are good, but they'll put some deception in there. Because I've known couples that they were both started down here and elevated together. I've seen it happen. So you can't tell me that's not possible. There's no way these people on the internet, these goofballs on the internet, can tell me that you have to be wealthy in order to find a woman and date a woman. That's all horse crap. There's just no way. You're not going to be able to convince me of that, because I've seen otherwise. I've seen it happen too many times to where people built wealth together, where people grew together. I've seen it. So trying to convince me of something else, it's just crazy. And I've made it my business now, because many people may not know that I've received crazy comments or stuff like that, but I have on my other page. But I had to start blocking people, because people tell, "Oh, you want something for free? You want something for nothing?" No. When you're dating, you're just getting to know a person. You shouldn't have to give a person money when you don't even know them. You're reaching out to get to know them, and you have to give them money. No. There's nothing wrong with spending money and y'all getting to know each other. There's no genuine connection in the world. It's hard to find genuine anything now. When you meet somebody, not saying you don't spend the money when you're trying to date a woman. No, not what I'm saying. But what people are under the assumption of, in order for a woman to give you her time, you have to pay her. And that concept right there is rooted in lack of interest. Because if she had a guy that she actually liked, that she actually wanted to be with, she wouldn't do all those things. There wouldn't be all these stipulations, all these crazy lists that people have now. It's due to lack of interest. People date people out of necessity, not out of actual genuine interest. It's out of other desires outside of genuinely wanting to get to know them, actually having a genuine connection, things like that. People just dating for superficial reasons. And that's why I just point it out. That's all I do. I point it out and let you decide what to do with it. Because what I do, if I see people that are just focused on superficial, no genuine connection, no genuine conversation, we're not trying to get to know each other. If all the conversation is just concern how much money I have or what I'm making, or if there's no genuine anything there. There's no sense in really trying to continue, and it's just, and that's not the only thing. That's just one thing. Like if you're trying to get to know a woman, and she automatically expects you to pay her just to conversate with her, or just to spend time with her, we all know that's she ain't interested in you. She's just trying to. She has a need that needs fulfilled. So same thing with if you're talking 5 minutes in the conversation, if he's thinking about sexual intercourse, he has no genuine interest in you whatsoever. There's no genuine interest. He's just trying to get his rocks off. We know these things. So after we us knowing these things, why do we give these people the spotlight? Why do we shed so much light on people that have no genuine interest in us? Why do we share more, put all our energy into that, but we don't give any energy towards people that actually do care about us and actually do? I'm sure a lot of us have people right now that would genuinely connect with us and genuinely want to talk to us. We just have to train our mind to either focus on them or wait, be patient, and wait for someone that we have interest in and they have the mutual interest. We have to be, a lot of us don't want to be patient for the mutual interest, which is rare. Mutual interest is extremely rare, and it takes a lot of patience, a lot of waiting, a lot of learning how to maneuver on your own, walking in your purpose, that type of deal. It requires a lot of that. But we want to connect with people so bad, we're willing to just settle and compromise. And settling, what I mean by settling, it's not necessarily mean that you're less, the person is less than or anything. What I mean by settling, meaning someone that you don't have a genuine connection with, someone you may not, they could be, the woman can be a perfect 10, the man can be 6 foot, have 6 figures, all that kind of stuff. But settling means you don't necessarily love them. There's no genuine connection. There's no genuine, they don't fulfill you emotionally, spiritually, internally. You know, there's no fulfillment on that level. There's no spiritual connection. There's no, some relationships can be what they call a vibe. And so if there's nothing there, there's no chemistry there, like I said, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, there's no stimulation on those levels, but y'all are just together to feed each other's needs. That's what I mean by settling. Because you're compromising what's in here, what's because it takes more than the materialistics to fulfill you in a relationship. That's why a lot of people have those things and still ain't happy. You have some that do because that's all they wanted from the relationship, but you have some that don't, or still aren't happy, but they're taken care of. But on the inside, they're miserable and lonely. That's what I mean by settling, because you're still not fulfilled no matter what they have, no matter what they possess. Not saying they're a bad person, not saying any of that, but they don't fulfill you. They're not able to give you what you are needing. They're not able to give you what you truly desire internally. And our own mindsets can hinder us and cause us to settle because we're chasing after something superficial, surface level, not knowing we're actually settling. So, and I'm going to change it. Let's see. Okay. I might leave that title like it is. I'll change it later. But, I'll change it later. But anyway, I ain't gonna worry about it right now. Gotta keep it rolling. We got a couple videos I wanted to go over because that's why I'm showing you what I mean. I'm just gonna show you what I mean because we're settling because we're listening to people that we're on a path, and these content creators, they knock you off focus, get you on, try to get you to want what they want. Everyone's chasing what somebody else told you they wanted. So hey, I'm gonna go do the same thing. I'm gonna go chase the same thing, and then come to find out you're unfulfilled. You want that, but you can't have it because it's probably not for you anyway. That's why I say sometimes we got to turn this stuff off and just find out who we really are. Find out what makes us truly happy. Find out what we are behind all this. Because as for me, of all the businesses, out all the accomplishments, out all the other stuff, I really don't care about those things. I really don't care about accolades. All this chief apostle, these big letters, big CEO stuff. I don't care about any of that. I like talking. I just like talking. I call it talking trash on the internet. That's all I like doing. Um, I work in other areas so I can sustain that, so I can continue to do it. I still work and have a life and take care of my kid, but but this is something I really, really, really enjoy, so I do it um, whenever I can. I make time for it. Other than that, outside of that, I have little interest in a lot of stuff. I keep up with different things, new new things, new topics, so I can have more to talk about and more serious opinions to weigh in on. But as for me, that's just what I enjoy doing, media and broadcasting. Um, I just like to, cause I be having a lot to say, a lot to let out, and going by some other videos, a lot of pent up aggression. So I release. But at the end of the day, it's all content. So, but like I said, we're gonna get move forward with with this, and I'll let y'all know what I think about this. I think it's gonna be two videos, but I'm play them and let you know where I'm at on 'em.
Genuinely wants to know why black men make dating so difficult. They make it.
Hi, I have an answer, and it's simply because they don't have money. So I've been thinking about this a lot as it relates to my personal dating life. A lot of my friends who are black women who are in their late 20s, early 30s, who have been struggling with dating, who prefer to date black men, and have been doing it in comparison to my white peers and some peers outside of like other races, but specifically my white peers, as to why we all went to similar schools.
Well, we can't. Well, I just want y'all to understand. Comparing a black man to a white man, it's not really fair, honestly, because they have a lot of advantages. Let's be honest. Let's be real about this. They have a lot of the white kids have an advantage over the black kids growing up now. They have access to better counseling, better schools, better opportunities. Because a lot of white kids, they grew up in a higher class. Not saying all of them, but a lot of them grew up in a higher class. A lot of black parents, a lot of us, our generation, a lot of us started from nothing and had to dig our way through the mud to the top. They don't have as many hurdles as black kids. They don't have as many obstacles. A lot of white families and like white households, they don't have as many obstacles to overcome as black families. A lot of black men are under more stress because they have a lot of things going against them. So a lot of education barriers started from high school. Um, Now they can get a scholarship and go to college, but not all of them had that same opportunity. Not all of them had the same opportunity when it comes to learning how to fix things, like working with your hands. They used to have that stuff, but now a lot of things, black families, black men, black people, a lot of things we have to teach ourselves because a lot of opportunities just aren't there for us. Like a lot of the banks, a lot of the institutions, they're not for black people. Um, and there's a lot of evidence out there to prove that. Uh, a lot of white families, a lot of white households, they have access to the banks. They have access to loans. They have access to all the advantages and opportunities that the black families didn't have. So the fact that a lot of black women compare black man to the white man, it shows their lack of. It shows that they're just used to receiving things. They came in growing up. They grew up probably in a family where the black man, their father, may have, goes back to my other stream before, may have already made it to the top and was able to provide those things for her. So all she saw was the good stuff, But unfortunately, not every black family, not every black man was able to do that growing up. They don't have all the opportunities that the white man has. So comparing the two is insane. That's why I say sometimes we got to turn this stuff off and look at reality. So, because trying to compare oranges to apples, you have to look at reality and compare that. We have to assess. We have to really look at who we are. We're wanting what other people want and trying to compare. And it's not very effective.
We all went to similar schools. We all have similar educational backgrounds. We all work similar jobs. For bar, we would say we would live very similar lives, except I just oscillate in primarily black spaces and they oscillate in primarily white spaces. With that said, I think it's because white people, but specifically white also men, are raised in the way that they
They
have
suck.
generational wealth, but a generational wealth mindset, meaning that they saw their parents get paired off and married, within their 20s. They have grandmas.
And in other words, white families, a lot of them get married earlier, and their families stick together too. They have just like Hispanic, just like all the other cultures do this. African Americans, we struggle to do this. We haven't done this, but other families, even their parents, while they're raising their families, they're still being mentored by their grandparents, by their parents. It's 3 generations, and they're able to start businesses and things like that because they stick together. It's a whole team of them. You have one black man going against a whole team, whole 3 generations of white families. That's what happened when you compare a black man to a white man. The white man had 2 generations prior that pushed him to get him where he is. A lot of times the black man came from nothing by himself. He may have came up in a single mother household, had to figure everything out on his own, versus a white man with 3 generations backing him up. It's an unfair comparison.
Ring and heirlooms. They have
And even before slavery, even before that, you got to back it up all the way back, because we haven't even been free. 1865? We hadn't even been free 200 years. So we only may have 1 or 2 generations. We're still trying to figure it out. Versus that, the white generations, they've been free for hundreds of years. They've had hundreds of years to get it right. We're still trying to compare them is insane.
a house that they know that they will inherit. They have a mindset knowing that even if they lose their job at Goldman Sachs or in tech or whatever, that they have this sort of privilege that they know that they'll always be fine and they know that they'll always be able to take care of their family. So even though they're in build mode, they're not necessarily worried that they would lose everything. And I think that mindset is different for Black men, meaning that they spend a lot of their 20s and even in their early 30s really trying to play a game of like financial catch up, really trying to get themselves established. And because they're
trying to figure everything out, they still have to figure it out, because a lot of resources, like I told you, those white families had access to, the Black family had access to none of that. No, limited education, access to limited financial literacy resources, mental health resources, had limited access to it. So by the time they reach adulthood, they're 18 and 20, they're having to figure everything out themselves. Whatever books they can read, whatever internet sources they can find, they have to put all these pieces together on themselves. White families, they have access to better stuff, been free longer, have a better mindset, because they've been free longer. So they tend to have access to those things. So they're able to, they train their kids early, from the age of, they say some of them train them while they're in the womb, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up. Imagine you just now figuring these things out in your early 20s versus someone that's been trained at an early age on business, on financial literacy, on education, on legal principles, on building, on wealth building. They've been trained and still had these things instilled in them from the age of 3 and 4 and 5 years old. At 9 years old, already knowing how to balance a checkbook, already knowing financial literacy, already knowing what credit and all that stuff is. By the time they're 12 and 13, they know how to manage a business from their smartphone. You see where I'm going with this? See how far ahead they already are, versus us trying to figure it out in our 20s, because we didn't have access to those things. We were too busy trying to fighting for our lives growing up, trying to survive. They're already learning how to manage a business, how to run a convenience store. See what I'm saying? See the advantages. And this is just not even the white family. It's just other nationalities. The Asians, the Hispanic, all of them. They have stores, and the kids grow up working in the store. By the time they're 12, they can run a whole business by themselves. And we're still trying to put food in the house. We're still trying to scrape up money to buy necessities. We're starting to improve now and do better now because we're catching up. Because, like I said, they've been free longer, so they have an advantage. But we're catching up.
They're playing that game. They play games in other areas, meaning that they don't necessarily take things seriously in terms of getting married, having kids, buying a home, starting family. Because those things require money, and if you don't have it, they're not necessarily going to, just take those things seriously. And again, I was just really thinking as to why I'm in my late 20s. A lot of my friends are in their late 20s to early 30s, and we're still dating and on dating apps and dealing with games and all the shenanigans that come with dating black men. But then when I look at the Jennys, the Tiffany's, and the whatevers of the world, a lot of them who I have worked with or work with, why they all, ironically enough, got engaged all at 27, 28, around the same time. And it felt kind of like sorority-like, very systematic. And again, it's that peer influence around them. If they see all their friends doing the things, and this goes for men too, they're going to go do those things as well. If they saw their parents do it, they're going to go do it as well. And I don't think black men saw it from their fathers.
Well, a lot of black men were raised, like I said, by single mothers. A lot of black men grew up in single households, either under a single mom or a single dad. Or, they grew up under co-parenting. They don't get to experience, a lot of them don't grow up under a marriage. A lot of them have seen it, but a lot of them didn't grow up in that household. So, again, a lot of things they have to figure out. A lot of, when you compare them to other people, that's why I don't like comparing someone to someone else. Because a mindset comes from birth all the way up to adulthood. You don't just change mindset. Your mind is hardwired at an early age. If you don't program the right things in that person, by the time their brain completely hardwires, you're going to have a hard time, especially in adulthood, trying to change their mindset they're going to have a hard time even trying to change the way they think and what they do. It's going to be hard. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's really, really hard. Because that's why it's important to train children while they're young, to train them up in the way they should go. While they're young, young. The things that make a man, you have to train them up in those things while they're early age. Make it a part of their lifestyle. If it's not already a part of their lifestyle, when they're adults, they're going to come off as lazy. If they hadn't grown up in a home with marriage, it's going to be a hard time. They're going to have a hard time as an adult.
And they also don't necessarily see it from their peers around them, so they don't also feel kind of that social influence to do those things, especially for black men in major cities like a New York, LA, a Chicago, a Miami, maybe even Houston. Maybe in the South it might be a bit different. But yeah, there's more I can say on this, and I've been doing a lot of research. I'm actually going to write an article about it, just the differences and nuances between being a black woman dating versus like my white contemporaries and their dating experiences. But yeah, the one factor that it boils down to is money. And if you don't have it, you're not able to
You're ready to finally launch your new business. But what do you need to start and grow it successfully? Zen Business has you covered.
Don't care.
progress forward in dating.
Man, so she's calling the bros broke at this point.
Not really.
Baby, like, and so I'm doing like this paper on it.
Because you have black men with money. A lot of people say they have black men with money that play games too. So it's not really. I don't even think it's about the money all the time. It's about really priority. It's not really about money. It's about priority. Because you got men that don't have a whole lot of money that get married and get together. But when a man prioritizes it, he's gonna do it then. But it may be something else that he may want to accomplish before he does that. Before he gets married, before he settles, it may be some things that he might want to work on himself. Might be some things he's trying to deal with internally. Maybe some stuff he's trying to get out of the way. It could be a number of things. Not always broke. It's not always that he doesn't have money. It's not always the case. I can explain why a lot of them struggle financially, but there are different reasons why it may be hard to date certain black men. But it's not because they're broke. It's not the only reason. You know what I'm saying? So, because you got people that are in serious relationships. You have families, whole families that are not doing the best financially. I've seen whole black families that aren't doing the best. I've seen married couples that built their way to wealth, but starting out, they weren't doing the best financially. So it's not always dealing with brokenness. It's more so about priority, and a lot of them, and I can't even say it's that either. It's priority, but there's a gap in there. There's a little gap in there that leaves a lot of it up to chance. Because a lot of people say they weren't even looking for a mate when they were introduced to their mate. So my main solution has I've been doing soul searching on that, but a lot of it boils down to sometimes you find that person when you least expect it, even when you're not looking half the time. You just run across them, or you might bump into them at the grocery store. The fact that we're trying to control a part of our life that we have little to no control over, I think that's part of the problem too. Because this is my thoughts here, and people can feel how they want. I think that God has more control over that than we do when it comes to finding that person or finding the one. I think we're trying to control something that was really designated for him, because that's a huge decision to make. Who's going to be your life partner? Who's going to be the person you spend the rest of your life with? I honestly think that's too big of a decision for us to make. We need someone that's going to be able to handle our past self, our present self, and our future self. And I think there's only one person capable of choosing that person. I think there's only one person capable of doing that, and that's the Most High. Now, that's my thoughts, but let's continue.
And I'm doing a study, and like guys in their 20s and their early 30s, they're all about playing games. Baby, let's get one thing straight. I don't recommend any man getting married in his 20s. Not every white man has.
Not necessarily. See, some people. So there it is again. I don't think you know when you're going to meet that person. I don't think you know. I don't think a person knows. They might find them. There's people that get married at 19. People get married at 21. I don't think we all may have our opinions on it, but I don't think a person knows when they're supposed to get married, when they're going to get married and all that. Some people don't until they're 40. I don't think we have as much control over that as we think, as we feel like you should wait. So if God sends you your rib at 25 you're going to say no because you think you're too young. I don't think it works that way. I think a lot of people get married earlier, later. It's just different for everybody. That's why I speak on these things. Because people are trying to control the narrative. We have no control over this narrative. Now you have control over how good you do in your personal life. You can control, just like, let's say people have nasty attitude. You can control how you respond to them. You can control how you deal with them. You can control what you do. But you can't control someone else's thoughts, someone else's stuff. Because when you're trying to date and relationship, it's your life plus their life. And then y'all have to meet at the right time. Because if it's the right person at the wrong time, it can still go to heck. It can still flip upside down. So, I just think that's too big of a decision for us to make, to try to control. You're trying to unite your life with somebody else's. That's just too big of a decision to make on your own. That's what I've boiled it down to. We're trying to control something that we don't. And it's not that black men are this and that. It's not. I don't think it's that. I don't think that black men are undateable. I don't think black women are undateable. What I think it is, we're listening to stuff on the internet that we shouldn't be listening to. We're listening to horrible advice on the internet instead of just pursuing our purpose and being led the way we should be being led. Because it's not the same for everybody. Not everybody's going to get a high value man. Not everybody's going to date a man with 6 figures. Not everybody's going to even get 6 figures. Let's just be honest about this. We got to find what our purpose is. Instead of chasing fantasies and all this other stuff, now this is what you desire. You have to seek God on how to acquire those things. You know, acquire that knowledge. But as far as, but you can only find that true peace, that joy, peace that passes all understanding, that true happiness in your purpose. I don't think there's anything else outside of that purpose. You can have rich, and if you don't believe me, you got a lot of rich and wealthy people, millionaires that commit that end their own lives. So, material don't always bring happiness. You might say it does. Oh, it brings happiness. Money can make you happy. But how come you have people that with wealth still miserable? People with wealth that are still try to unalive themselves. Because it lets you know it's not everything. So,
as generational wealth, or is going after generational wealth. That's ultimately the goal that people want. It's not that a black man,
and there's nothing wrong with generational wealth either. Nothing at all. I'm just saying we gotta look at this thing a little different, because what we're doing isn't working. So we gotta try something else. Let's try God's way for once.
doesn't want to have generational wealth, but we know that there is a difference in terms of home ownership, in terms of businesses, entrepreneurship between whites and blacks, and the fact that whites outnumber blacks overall. So when you talk about
and they have access to those homes. We don't, in some places, we're not even able to buy a house. They have all these stipulations in there that keep us from buying houses, unless you have excellent, perfect credit and a whole bunch of years of work and taxes, and you still may not get it. They have other things to keep you out of certain neighborhoods. So let's put that in there too.
the dating pool and black women wanting to get married in their 20s, not so. You're not really going to find that with guys your age. If you talk about your contemporaries in terms of white women in their late 20s, the mindset of white women is different in terms of how you're raised. And black women are raised to be independent. I don't need a man. Get your education. You can take care of yourself. You're going to college to get your education. You're not going to college to network or find a husband or to get in those different rooms or access to those different rooms. You're looking to compete. The white woman's not looking to compete, even though they created the whole feminist movement. She's not looking to compete. She's going to college to network and to find a husband, not to compete or outdo the husband, unlike the black woman. White men aren't getting married like that in their 20s either, unless he is coming from a place of wealth and things like that. But the 20s is the time for you to be ferocious as a young man getting after your goals. How can you support a household in your 20s when you're not financially set? A man doesn't hit his financial stride till his mid to late 30s and early 40s. If that's the case, if you want a man that's financially stable, then you get with a man around that age. You keep talking about these men want to get.
But he's gonna require more, because if you wasn't in that stride with him, you're gonna be required to do more. But anyway, it goes back to, because all this stuff is this only works for some people, because like I said, I've seen marriages that build together, that build wealth together. So again, the same thing doesn't work for everybody. Like I said, this is why we need to sometimes turn this stuff off and look at ourselves, look at where our lives are headed, look at what's going to be beneficial for us as individuals. You might get lucky and find a rich man, but it may not be your assignment. That may not be where your life is headed. That may not be you. And if you're stuck on that, you got to have it only one way. That's why a lot of people are single a lot longer than they probably should be, because they're outside of their purpose. And they're outside of what they need to be mentally, spiritually. And a lot of them miss out on their mate because of that. They're not in alignment with who they're called to be.
Get with younger women. These younger women who don't want to work should know they want to get with a man that's able to provide. Or she's just going to have to wait till later on in life. This is just crazy. The black man is broke. He's raised differently. Come on, baby. White men aren't after marriage unless it's just a hometown girlfriend or a high school sweetheart, or the family arranged the marriage or something like that. But in terms of American culture, it's not going down like that. I'm looking at this and they just want to play games. You don't think white dudes be playing games with women? They not really.
Oh, yeah, absolutely they do. They play games. All races do. All nationalities do. All of them do.
Serious, they'll mess with Hispanic women, black women, Asian women, but ultimately he'll settle down with who it is that he could see himself having a future with and kids with. So don't just say it's just the black man and there's a money thing. Y'all ladies will date the brokest dude and know it. You'll marry the brokest dude and you'll pay for everything. But let's get on to another clip with a young lady that had reacted to this video. Let's go.
I usually only come on here to serve looks, but today I'm going to talk.
Ever wondered why you should get an LLC with a third party when you can do it all by yourself? Yeah, of course. Those companies want to make a
I don't care.
The way white men versus black men approach dating are very different, and what it really does come down to is the lack of money that black men have. This is from a social and generational standpoint. So a white boy I've talked to in the past, the way he dated me was very intentional. He was very assertive, and he just had a provider mentality.
Well, you just dated a white man with the right mindset. It had nothing to do with color. That's the thing. See how we get all. You find a black man that's playing games, and you meet a white man that actually has a mindset to be with somebody. That doesn't mean that the white men are better overall. It doesn't mean that, because you have a lot of white men that play games. You have a lot of people of other nationalities that play games too, because I've heard stories. So I've seen them. I've seen people experience things with. I've even had white women come and tell me that black men treat them better than their white men did. So, I mean, it's not predicated. It's not delegated to color. It's just a mindset. You don't have to have a certain color to have a certain mindset. It's all about upbringing and lifestyle and a lot of different things. Your environment, because a lot of things are learned behaviors. Because there are a lot of black men that provide and take care of their families, take care of their wives, take care of their children. So I don't know why this narrative is being spread about black men when it's not true for all black men. And you have, and I believe I'm starting to believe it's systematic, to where the white men are being praised and the black men are being just being held down here regardless of the black men that are starting businesses, that are making things happen, that are improving their neighborhoods. You have a lot of black male teachers, male principals, male business owners, innovators, inventors. You have a lot of them that are doing things. You have a lot of black family men. I've seen them everywhere. I see them. If you actually go out and live life and turn off the internet, sometimes that's why I keep saying that. You'll see them. I've been to the beach where I've seen a lot of men, fathers out there with their children, husbands doing things with their wives and their children. If you go out and look at and see life, you'll see that there are actual black men that are family men that are taking care of their men. I mean, their families. A lot of men that are assertive, that have intentions, proposing to their fiancées. I mean, I see it all down my timeline. So it's not because I actually look at life. I know how to turn this thing off and go and look at life and go places. Just go to the mall sometimes. Go shopping. Just you don't even have to go buy anything. Go window shopping. Just go around and look. Go around and look in your everyday life, your malls, your stores. You're gonna see black families. You have to if you don't think that black men are family oriented, you probably need to get out more. Because I see it everywhere I go. I don't even get out that much, but I used to, and I do every now and then. Because you need to see things. When you go to the movies, when you go, just go places. Go to the park. You're gonna see families. Just gotta go where it's at, you know. But that's how I know a lot of things on the internet is very contrary. It's contrary to what I see in real life.
And this is because he had a white father treat his white mother in a two-parent household in that way. A lot of black men sadly don't have these same experiences because they never saw their black father treat their black mother in that way because their black father was never around when they were growing up. This is what I mean by generational, because this is an overlap we see when these black boys grow up and they treat the mother of their child in the same exact way they saw their own mothers get treated by black men. Black women are married at disproportionately lower rates than white women, and the reason why is because black men aren't really taught to grow up, marry a black woman, and stay for the children. No, this isn't black men's fault. It actually roots back to segregation and even gentrification, when black men would try and go out and get jobs, but no place would hire them because they were racist, and this would then have an impact on that black man's family dynamic and how he would be able to provide. So like I said, money. We still see effects of this today, and it's the reason why we know so many more black mothers who are single and were never married than we do know white mothers who are single and never married. Black men aren't the only problem. The other problem is black women.
Showing up on the first page of Google might not be the best for everyone. But
Yeah, go
A
away.
lot of black women are enablers, and when somebody watches a crime happens and does not stop the perpetrator, the person who watches it happen is often just as bad as the criminal. It really just makes me ask questions like, why choose this partner? Why choose to have a second child? Why stay in an 8-year-long situationship? We really need to ask these questions, or generational curses will continue to haunt our community, and we will see a rise in the number of black men who are not taking care of their children. A lot of black men will try and make the point that black men nowadays are starting to date more white women because black women are too hard to deal with, have really bad attitudes, or are too dominant. But when we do see this happening, it's usually black men who make a lot of money, such as NFL athletes or actors who make...
Well, I've seen a lot of men make that complaint. It ain't just it's not even just it's women all over. I was having this discussion at a family gathering. They were saying all women are women are more aggressive now. The thing is, the world is changing, and this is the problem. We're expecting everything to stay the same, and the whole world is changing. The world is changing. It's not the same. What about how it happened back in the day? And dating used to be this way. I'm gonna give everybody a news flash. It's not like it used to be. Those days are gone. There's a certain time period where women didn't have all the rights that they had. A lot of them didn't work. A lot of them weren't as aggressive because they were unable to work. They had laws against women working or doing things for themselves. Now women can work. Women can make their own money. You had a lot of women that married for resources only, and they had to cooperate with their husband because they didn't have as many rights. Now you have a lot of them now that can make their own money. They don't really have to have you around. I'm not saying all women have this mindset. They don't really have to have you around. So they can be by themselves. They can go without or can do certain things. It's because now they don't really they just don't feel like they need the companionship. Because, and let's be real, there's a lot of people that don't like companionship. It's nothing against them. They just don't like companionship. They don't really want to be bothered with all that. A lot of people back then just tolerated marriage, just tolerated family, just tolerated these things. But you have a lot of people that don't really like all that stuff. They don't like the companionship of people. A lot of women don't even want a man around them. They just don't really, they're not really genuinely interested in the family dynamic. It's not, and you can't get mad at them for that. There's no sense in trying to force them either. Say if you're a black man that wants a family, you just find a black woman that wants the same thing. Because you got a lot of black men and women that don't really want to be bothered with people. If you find a black man that doesn't really like kids, that's not really, he shows you that he's not romantic, not really into families or anything like that. But you want a family, you want children, he may not be the guy for you. I'm not saying he's a bad person, but he may not fit that role. We try to put people in roles they don't belong in. That's the biggest problem that we have as black folk. We'll try to turn a friend into a lifelong partner. Try to turn an associate into a lifelong partner. Try to turn someone that we were only supposed to speak to that day or bless them. We try to turn them into a lifetime partner when that wasn't really what it was for. And then when it doesn't go the way we want, we get angry and blame black men or blame women when the person that you chose was never for you to begin with. Just goes back to my whole thing. Some things we gotta let God do, because we try to force things that aren't even meant to work.
7 figures. Of course, these white women aren't going to be hard to deal with or put up with because their black husbands and boyfriends are providing for them. However, the same cannot be said for an everyday black man who was not making even 6 figures, who was trying to court and talk to an everyday black woman. Not to mention, a lot of these black women assume dominant roles because of the fact that they have to go out and be the breadwinner to then come back home and raise their children on their own. Many who are abandoned by the father of their children and also their own father growing up. I think it's important to bring up how white dominance is playing a huge role in this, and these are just the effects of slavery, and one really big way we can see this is through our own music. We do this in the way that we portray black relationships. We don't promote marriages, we promote baby daddies, and we also overly sexualize the black female body, and this comes from not only male rap but also female rap. Many black men, of course not all, are not able to afford marriages, let alone afford dates. I will even go to the extent of saying why a lot of black men want to be pursued first or be the ones who are provided for is because this is what their single black mothers did for them when they grew up.
We already made hundreds of thousands in our business with no back-end system. And now that I found
I don't believe you.
Treated them like a husband. Many black men were just not able to have the opportunity for a black father, a black man to be in their life and teach them how to treat and court a woman the same ways we see other races treat and court their women.
Now, she said a mouthful there, but I do like that she didn't ultimately blame the black man and say everything is the black man's fault. Black women do have to take some self-agency and accountability in this entire situation because they will lay down with the pookie. They are raised a certain way. They're socialized a certain way. And music, media, and all these things influence this horror culture.
Why we have to turn it off sometimes and actually explore ourselves. And it's up to us to know the difference between entertainment and real life. That's why we need to live real life. That's why we don't need to live on social media and actually experience life. We get all our information, we get all of our insight, we take on mentors from the rap industry, we take on mentors from places that these content creators that are just solely for entertainment will take their messages and their stuff as the living gospel and live like that. Live like the people. You got guys, you got men that want to live like the rappers, and that's solely for entertainment. We got women that want to live the same lifestyle as what they see on TV. Men and women, our men and women, we want to live like what we see on TV, social media, all this other stuff. We want to live fairy tale lives, and that's part of the problem too. We have a lot of problem there. We're so disconnected from life that we don't know what reality is. We have no idea what reality is because we're so disconnected from actual real life. We're just so we don't understand processes, how things work, how things are supposed to come together, because we want it to come together like it comes together in a movie or on the internet. What we expect from a relationship is the same thing we saw on TV or on social media or what some guru said. And that's just my synopsis of all the stuff. It's just we're just unrealistic because we're trying to compare those things, the media stuff, to our actual life, and that might not even be our purpose. That might not even be what we're supposed to be doing. Reality says our life is supposed to be a completely different way. But we're trying to compete with that, trying to compare ourselves to that. That might not even be for us.
This Cardi B culture, if you will. And fellas, I can say that we are products of our environment, but you can grow up and change and want better out of life. And it doesn't matter sometimes, and I get it, and even black women know that other black women are hard to deal with. It's just you can have all the money in the world, but if she's raised a certain way or socialized a certain way, then she's still going to have that chip on her shoulder and talk to you and not be agreeable or submissive.
But if she's not agreeable, she's not willing to get along with you and not willing to connect with you on any level, not willing to talk to you on any level. She's so hard up that you can't even have a genuine conversation with her. My only advice on that is to let her heal. I mean, if you deal with that, you got to know what comes with it. It's not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be a lot more work than an average relationship. I'm not saying it's impossible though. If you go that route, it's going to be a lot more work than what you think it's going to be. It's just simply, it is what it is on that. You just got to take what comes with it.
When it comes to that, and that's just the fact of the matter. Money does accomplish things, and then nowadays, how many black women really want to get married? I know 1 in 4 black women will get married in their lifetime. That's 25.
I know a lot of them that say they rather be single. So if they're telling you they rather be single, I've even had black women say, black men disgust me. I don't want a black man. When it comes to that stuff, why even waste your time? You see what I'm saying? Some people, you got to know that you're wasting your time trying to deal with them, trying to pursue them. If you desire marriage and they don't desire marriage, you already know. We got to start. We got to stop trying to push our false sense of reality onto them. What we desire may not be what they desire. If you run into a black woman that doesn't want to get married, that doesn't want a family, doesn't like kids, we can't force them into that mindset. If they've told you what they want, what they don't want, or if she only sees you as a friend, we shouldn't try to force the whole issue of trying to be with her or wanting to, because she's already told you what she wants. She already told you what her intentions are. Same thing with a black man. A lot of black women would get with a black man. Let's say he tells her, I'm just looking for sex, or I just want you to be my baby mama. They'll tell you. You have black men. You have men that'll say that, but the woman will still try to make a relationship out of it. But usually, a person tells you what they want, what they're looking for. They'll let you know or show you where you are. And reality is just reality. You know, we have to deal with reality. Sometimes we try to make something happen because we like that person, but it doesn't matter how much you like that person. If they don't fit, they don't fit. And we try to put who we like in that spot when they're not qualified to be there. Not saying they're less than or anything. It's not their place in your life, if they have a place in your life to begin with. We don't get to say where someone is in our life. We don't even get to choose our friends. Our friends line up. They choose us. People that we meet, people that we're cool with, we didn't choose them in the beginning. People that those people fall in line. And people that don't belong, sometimes it's our job to get rid of them or move them or whatever. But, you know, it is what it is.
5% of all black women. But how many of them would rather be a baby mama? And I'm just being honest with you. Just use a man for his seed, send him on about his way. You talk to him any kind of way, don't want him to see his child. You make it hard for him to see his child, and you talk bad about him to the child and deal with multiple men because
those type of women do that for a cash grab. They're not interested really in being a parent and being a family person, and they're showing you that. They have no interest in doing that. What they want to do is take the child in and use the welfare benefits, use the welfare system, child support system. But they really had no desire to be a mother, to be a wife. That's just one specific type of woman. So they'll demonize the father because they don't want, because people are going to ask, okay, where's the father? Why aren't you married? Stuff like that. So they demonize the father to have an excuse as to why they're not married. That's why a lot of women demonize men anyway. They demonize men because they have no interest in really dating or being serious with men. They just use that as an excuse to not be in a relationship. So that what they do, these type of women now, they'll go around using men and taking advantage of men. They'll tell their little sob stories, and they demonize just so they can have a reason to still be single and be able to go around and use people, take advantage of other people. Got men to do the same thing, but so they're just using those demonizations as justification as to why they hadn't settled down yet. But their real intentions are just to use people, take advantage of people.
Because you want to be this fairy tale doll out of a cartoon or out of a movie who has every man sexualize them or look at them as an object or thing of beauty. We can just go as far as saying the BBL culture in itself. Look what you're raising, the sons, the daughters that you're raising into this world. They're seeing that you have no respect for yourself or the man. You talk any kind of way, the music you listen to, and it just comes out in your pores. You have a lot of pookies out here, but you do have a lot of men who want the best and who want to settle down with a woman and show her a better life and things like that, but sometimes she's just not going for it. Women like excitement. They don't like the boring life, and this just goes for women in general.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't say that. Some women like that excitement. They like to travel and do all these other things. Some women like it, but the ones that don't like it, the ones that just want to, you got to recognize which ones are wives and which ones aren't. That's the trouble that we have as men. We have a hard time recognizing which one is a wife, which one is not a wife, which one doesn't want to be a wife, which one has no desire for marriage. Someone will tell you they don't want that. They just want to be single. They want to travel. They just want to travel the world and make money. They'll tell you that. And we try to change their mind. We try to go in there, well, I can change her. No, you can't change. Women know what they want when it comes to that now. Certain things within the relationship they might tell you, they might be a little confused about. But when it comes to them wanting to be married or not married or all that, when it comes to that, they know what they want. So she tells you she doesn't want to be a wife. She's not studying that. She's not studying the family life. She doesn't like kids. Those are huge signs. You can't change her mind. when it comes to that. She already just made up her mind on what she wants, on that type of woman. That's why we got to turn off the internet, man, because there are plenty of women that want to settle down and have families. You know, but we got to turn off the internet.
Not just black women. Black women will tell you what's on their mind, and they'll have no problem disrespecting you or find some way to be argumentative in a situation. Because
not all black women do that, but maybe, you know, because a lot of them, and I say this too, a lot of them are hard and aggressive like that because that's all they know. That's how their parents were. They never learned any different. They never saw any different, and that's all they know. They've never taught or shown any different. They've never had anyone be genuine, be gentle with them. No one was ever gentle with them. So all they know is the hard way. They think that's the only way to be, because that's all they've seen. That's all they know. So, and because their parents grew up in hard times, a lot of them didn't have rights or couldn't hardly work, or you have some generations had people throwing rocks at them while they were trying to get to work. They had to harden up for survival. So that's where a lot of that comes from. And that's all they know. Now, generations down the line, we may get it together and learn how to be in those gentle spaces and learn how to operate. But for right now, people are still trying to learn and figure it out. And but you know, like I said again, when you come into a person that you can connect with on that level, a lot of those things can be ironed out. That's why I say either a person's for you or they're kind of not. I don't think it's really a gray area. I think we're being shown that we might need to take a break from trying to do this stuff ourselves, and because we may not know as much as we think. Because there's a lot to this stuff. It's hard finding a match. Like I said, because they have to deal with the past, present, and future you. Just because y'all have a connection now, let's say you meet somebody, you tell them your past, y'all connect, and then they okay with who you are now. Who's to say that they may grow envious of the future you? They may not be able to handle where you're going. That's why a lot of relationships break apart, because they weren't meant to be relationships to begin with. And we can't make someone that isn't meant to be. We can't force them. That's why a lot of it fails anyway, because we try to force things that ain't supposed to happen, and they may not be able to handle our future self, or they may be hindering us from getting to who we are, because we're never supposed to connect with them to begin with. I think there's something supernatural when it comes to that. That's just you know what I'm saying. Studying this stuff, studying relationships in general, I think there's a supernatural piece that we're missing.
Because things have to go their way, and there's no room for leadership, because a lot of times there was no leadership in the household. Unless she comes from a loving family, then she'll learn to respect the man and know what to look for in a man. But this young lady went up and she talked about segregation, and she talked about gentrification. When it comes to generational wealth, which I should have said on the previous video, yes, a lot of those things in America, for the black man in America early on, he was excluded from those things. Getting a home loan, getting a loan in general, jobs.
Still are. It's not, hadn't changed. Still hard to get loans. Still hard to get stuff like that. It's still hard and almost impossible to get it. Certain jobs, you can get them, but it's hard to keep them. It's not hard. You can get jobs, but they make it harder to keep those jobs as a black individual. They try to find ways to fire you, get ways to get rid of you. They've made the labor almost impossible. They make work so hard on you to where you either want to quit or have to quit because they don't want to pay benefits out. It's a lot of things going on that aren't talked about.
It's good jobs being available, other than creating your own job. And even when you create your own job, a lot of times those things were made difficult to.
Still is. Try to start your own business right now from ground zero. I could pretty much tell you how it will go. You're gonna have to spend you got to set up, the way you have it set up now, you're gonna have to spend out a whole lot of money just to get started. I'm here to tell you. Good luck.
To get supplies and other things like that unless he was creating himself or somebody came in and took it from him. But these are just things as far as living in America, growing up in America during a certain period in time. But a man, if he wants to do right, he'll do right. But he can't do right with a woman that's not agreeable and that's not on the same page. That's why ultimately,
if she's not on the same page, then it goes back to what I said. They probably shouldn't be together. If she's not agreeing with him, I want to start a business. Or I want to do this. If she always has negative things to say, always putting them down, all this kind of stuff, they're probably not a good match. He probably needs to go find someone that agrees with him. If we can't get along on simple stuff, if we can't agree on stuff that aligns with our purpose in life, it's probably a red flag there. It's probably a sign that we don't need to be with that woman. I don't know. Not the smartest crayon in the crayon box, but that's just, I don't think, that's why I say we shed too much light on people that are not even compatible. Well, this one I think we just need to stop trying to control the dating. Stop trying to control dating. Let's see something here. I'm trying to, cause let me see. Okay. Okay. I got it now. Now, as far as the connection, let's see. Okay. All right. Okay. I don't think it's gonna switch over to later, but oh well. I ain't worried about it. I don't think we have control over that stuff. We control now when we find the right person. I think, and people still get this misconstrued. You can find a wife by looking, but you don't have to look. You can find something by looking, but you don't have to find something. You don't have to be looking to find it. I'll give you an example. I was just cleaning up one day. I found $5 in my couch. Was I looking for it? Absolutely not. I wasn't looking for it. I didn't have it on my mind. But I found it in the couch, cleaning up, doing something else that I was supposed to be doing, which was cleaning up. We were supposed to clean up to get her. So, who's to say you won't find your mate when you're doing things that you're supposed to be doing in your purpose? Say you're going to school for this, XYZ. God tells you, hey, you're supposed to be a nurse. You go to nursing school. You might find your husband there. You may, man, I need to go. I should, instead of going out to eat, I should cook tonight. And you go to the grocery store to get your recipe, get your ingredients and stuff. Boom, you're finding your husband there. A lot of these things happen. So, You don't have to find it. You don't have to look for it all the time to find it. You seeking yourself. Yeah, you can seek it out and find it. Yeah, that's one way, but it's not the only way to find something. You don't have to look to find it. So people get that mixed up. How you don't look, and how you gonna find it if you don't look? You can look and find it, but you don't have to. You don't have to find something by that's looking is not the only way to find it. That's what I'm saying. So you could be minding your own business and run into your spouse. Just do the thing that you enjoy. Just do the things that better your life and things that you enjoy. You might like to go to the skating rink. You might just like to just go out and do things. Do the things that you enjoy. You might run into somebody there. Do the stuff that you like to do. You might like poetry clubs and might like going to the games, football games, basketball games. Just do things. You might find someone there. You know, it happens. It happens. So, but when you try to force it, that's when the problem comes in, because we don't have as much control over that as you think. You just do things that fulfill you. Do things that you do. Just do what you do. You might run into them. Some people find they match on dating sites and all that kind of stuff. It happens. You can find by looking, but you don't have to find by looking. You don't have to look to find it. That's just my take on that too.
You need to find somebody that's right for you. You can't just say a black man's too broke to date or too broke to have a family. It's about what you want at the end of the day. If you look to social media as the litmus test for a good relationship or what a relationship would look like, then go ahead and be single for the rest of your life. And
you just made my point. That's why I say we got to turn this stuff off. Got to turn this mess off sometime and look at reality. Because social media, a lot of them, all they trying to do is grow their channels, get likes, clicks. That's all they trying to do is put money in their pocket, get you to send them cash out. That's all they want to do, really. They really don't care about care if you find a spouse or not. They just want you to hit the donate button.
And deal with multiple men until you depart. Anyway, dating is dating. This Cheesecake Factory stuff, that's not enough, and I need to have a $400. But then you probably just gonna have a hard time. You're just gonna deal with the pookies who's not gonna give you any of that, who's just gonna smoke you out, and whatever you cook for them is gonna be the date for that night. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. This is BS, man. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on.
Yeah. Thing is, what's this? Okay. Yeah, I'm just chilling today. It's just Saturday. No. Yep, just a Saturday. I had to put it away from the window because natural light dims the doggone thing. I just felt like chilling today.
At Vistaprint, we print everything to show off your brand. So you can print it like Simon's Restaurant and outfit your whole team.
Just feel like chilling.
Okay, so talk about, because we do have male listeners as well.
Right.
So talk about what dating would look like for, a guy who's maybe making just like $100,000 a year, and he's a high value man in every aspect of it.
Just 100,000 a year. I already know where this is going.
I do too. Shout out to Alvin Preach. I'm gonna tag them in this when I post it on YouTube because yeah, they pretty good. I'm gonna do another one of their videos. Yeah, but anyway,
I already know where this is going. I done fucked up. I clicked this video because someone suggested it, but as soon as I heard just 100,000 a year, you know what I know where this is going?
Where's that going?
Ladusional.
Yeah,
Ladusional land. Right up there in Louisiana.
They one of them people that want you to have a lot of money in order to date and all this kind of stuff. And that goes back to that fantasy stuff. A lot of people on the internet, they want you to live in a fantasy world. That's why I'm gonna name what I name it. Turn off the internet and live your life. Not all the time, just sometimes, so you can actually start using your brain instead of pouring all this other stuff into it that don't make sense.
You said that shit. You said that.
Louisiana Ladutional.
You said that shit like it was the name of someone.
We use different words now. I don't say delusional. I say Ladutional or Delulu. Delulu or Ladutional. Okay.
Good guy, but maybe he doesn't have the income to be, giving $10,000 to a woman to, invest in her business. So what does dating look like for like the average? $100,000 is not even the average person. Let's
Let's keep it
so
real.
let's keep it real.
100,000 above the average person. The average man doesn't make that much. The average man doesn't make close to that much. Let's say average. They don't make that much. Okay. The average white man doesn't even make that much. Even with all the advantages, everything. So we gotta start being realistic. That's why I keep telling y'all, we gotta look these numbers up ourselves and start being more realistic and start going back to reality and seeing what things are realistically, seeing where we stand realistically. Because a lot of this stuff people are spouting is they want you to believe that everybody's at the Bahamas, everybody's at the beach, everybody's is living their best lives when no, it's not happening. It's not what it is.
Real for the average person who is making $50,000. That's a good person. What does dating look like for them?
So if you're making $50,000, don't date.
Ooh.
That's the dumbest advice I've ever seen. If anyone tells you that, just get away from them because they obviously there's no sense in trying to convince them otherwise because they have a fairy tale mentality. If you're making $50,000 a year, don't date. And if you look at the percentages, a lot of people aren't even the average white man barely makes above that. The average black man doesn't make that. I'm talking average now because you got a lot of people above average. A lot of people above average. So if you're dating making $50,000 a year, don't date. Yeah, you got a lot of people that are they're just spewing out this. See how people force their own personal preference onto everybody, and you can't do it. It's just sickening how they do this. And now I say if you're making down here, you shouldn't be trying to date up here. Not say that. If you're making like here, you need to date somewhere in there. Not up here. Not someone in. Then if they think up here, you might need to leave them alone too. They want you to make $100,000 a year, and you're only making 60 or 50. Don't try to force that stuff. You'll stress yourself out. Trying to be with just get someone around your level. Just do yourself a favor and get someone around your level, and someone that thinks and agrees with you. That's not all crazy.
I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date.
Yeah, she's on that crap today.
Listen, if you ain't got an IQ over 100, like you're not ready to podcast.
That's what it was.
There needs to be a permit for these podcasts.
You're not ready to date, and you're not ready to date because courtship costs.
Okay.
Everything.
It don't cost all that. You can court without spending $50,000. So this is Mrs. 50,000. It's probably where she probably listens to him every day.
In cost.
Okay.
You can go for 22 walks in the park, but eventually, Shorty is gonna need a sip of something. She gonna be thirsty. This bottle of water is $3 in Atlanta. Let's not play. So,
But you can get a whole case of water for $3 in places like Bill's, other grocery stores. You can get a whole case of water for $3 in some places. So a bottle of water being $3 ain't really, And in Atlanta, it's a lot of other opportunities. So people are probably making more in Atlanta. But places like Mississippi, you might peak out at 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, depending on where you work. But Atlanta, especially if you have your own business, you could possibly make more. There's a lot more opportunities. But you can still make it, depending on where you stay, depending on what you're doing, as long as you don't live above your means. But I say that don't get with a woman that's trying to make you live above your means. if she's up there and wants you to live up there and you're not making up there, that's a problem. You already have a problem.
If you don't have any expendable cash, don't date. And whatever that looks like for you, you might only make 50,000, but you live in a shoe. And now you got expendable cash.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not saying you gotta pay to play to be with a woman. I'm simply saying courtship costs.
Right.
It is not free to date.
I'm not saying, but
Saying you live in a shoe if you make 50,000. Okay, we're gonna believe that fairy tale. Yeah.
I'm saying.
Now she's
She
Houdini.
has arrived. She says, "Oh, I'm not saying my name is Ledujuno, but my name is Ledujuno," and she has left you confused.
Jesus Christ.
But it's because you're not understanding what's been understood.
So it's my problem.
It is always the man's fault.
Okay.
Yes. It is a man's world. You pay the bills. You understand? You understand?
Say that again.
They carry the babies. You pay the bills.
All right.
Even when they don't have children, you pay the bills.
Right.
You understand? When she has a job, she makes more money than you pay the bills.
Right.
When she has a job and you are unemployed, you pay the bills.
Jesus.
You understand? This is a man's world. And you pay the bills.
Like some of us can't even take our homegirl out and it's free.
That's
You know what I'm saying? You peeling off a little check for shorty's drink. So it's like, why do we expect anything else of women with a man?
And men don't want free dates. That's just, we got to cut this narrative. I don't know who's planting this into these women's heads, but men don't want free dates. We got to stop this. Men do not want free dates. But this is what I've seen. You got women that want they want to travel out of the state and all overseas and all that kind of stuff. But then when you say, "Hey, I can't afford to go to Hawaii. I can't afford to go to Spain or all that. I want to go to California. I want to take a trip to New York. I can't afford to go to New York. You just want something for free." No. Just can't afford to go to freaking New York City. Can't afford to get a plane ticket. You may be in a state where you're building your wealth and all that other stuff. You might not want to spend everything that you have to go. A lot of these women like this, they like to travel all over the place, spend hundreds of dollars on a date, and then say, "Oh, you just want a free date because you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a date." They want you to live above your means and try to emasculate you when you're not trying to do that. It's already a problem there. It's what I'm pointing out too. There's already a problem there. You may just want to kind of start bagging away from people that try to get you to do that. Try to get you to trick you into living above your means. There's already a problem. And they try to, I'm talking about now the ones that you talk to and they'll listen to you. If you say, "Look, I want to do those things too, but that's a little bit above my pay grade right now. If we can do X, Y, Z, we can do other stuff. If they're willing to do those things, you can work with those type of people." I'm talking about women that try to emasculate you because you don't want to live above your means. There's already a problem. There's already a disconnect, a big enough disconnect to where you may want to start fading off. Don't cuss them out. Don't get angry. Don't get all that. Don't do all that. Just fade off because they're not for you. It's not good or bad. Not speaking down on them. They're not for you.
Like, fellas, if you're broke, don't date. You're not ready to date yet. Or get you
50,000 is not broke, but okay.
You're not ready to date yet. Or get you a bottom of the barrel bitch that's gonna date you when you have no money.
That's what I was about.
And why does she have to be bottom of the barrel? 50,000 ain't broke, but why does she have to be bottom of the barrel? Why do you have to degrade a woman that gets with a man that makes around 50,000? She used 50,000 as broke, so I'm using that number. I'm using her numbers. We're gonna stick with what she said because I want you to know how ridiculous this sounds. She's telling women if they date a man that makes $50,000, that you're a bottom of the barrel. You're the worst of the worst. That's what she's telling. That's the message she's trying to send to women. And she's trying to tell all men, you need to make above that in order to be considered a man. You're not even ready to date if you're not making above that. You have to get with a woman. You have to, and she's telling the men that you need to go get the worst of the worst. If you can't date up there, if you're making $50,000, you just deserve the worst of the worst. You deserve the bare minimum. That's not true, because quality can come from all different places, shapes, sizes. You know, just because she desires wealthier men doesn't make her a good woman. It doesn't increase her quality. It doesn't increase her, because a woman is measured just like a man. Men and women are measured by their character, by the qualities they have. It's not by the income, because income can fluctuate. You can be rich one day and broke tomorrow. So it's not about that. Qualities. What makes the person who they are? What about being likable? What about being cooperative? What about being, as far as a woman? It's what husbands look for in wives. Are they good with kids? Because if he wants to have a family, wants to have a kid, is she nurturing? Is she, how good is she at talking over different situations? How good is she at handling disagreements? How will she greet me when I walk in the door after a long days of work? How good is she with children? Does she have patience with children? Does she have patience with human beings? We look for certain qualities. You know, how capable is she of taking care of herself? Not don't even have to be the best financial. Do I have to carry her or hold her hand her whole life? Or can we be interdependent together and work as a team and build this thing? And qualities in a man is, you know, problem solving. How good are they at handling situations? How good are they at handling stressful situations? Can they step up when they're really needed? Those are just a few. But that's what makes men and women, is their qualities and character. It's not money. Because there are ways to get money. There are a lot of ways to get money. You have a lot of rich men that are jerks that have no qualities. But if that's all you're after, then that just says a lot about you.
A bottom of the barrel bitch.
My girl, you are come on the set looking like Shrek, and you have called someone else bottom of the barrel. You are the protagonist of a Pixar movie, and you are calling someone else bottom of the barrel.
I don't even have to say anything against her. I don't even have to roast her. I'm just let them do it.
You're just missing a donkey, and you can sign your own movie.
Mike Wazowski.
My friends. Your skin with the makeup looks green.
You crazy.
You are a funny one, and you are saying someone else bottom of the barrel. Ma'am, you are not even the bottom of the barrel. You are underneath it. You are not even worth the conversation, and you are saying the poor people need to shut their mouths.
Why are you calling someone not even the bottom of the barrel? Why are you calling someone the barrel? She's just expressing her opinion.
Huh? She's basically saying that people who marry and don't really consider the money of the person and they're willing to struggle with them are bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
I'm not going to let somebody slander other people who are really making it, trying to work despite the financial situation not being the best, willing to save, penny pinch, and do whatever and struggle together. See, this problem with this shit is this. She want to make it with you when you already made it. Yeah, they trying to show up after the finish line to hand you your flowers, not recognize I needed somebody to hand me a water bottle while I was running the marathon. You understand me? That's why this shit's actually super foul. And not only...
And it's super dumb. Super. It's teaching all women to just let men build everything by themselves. That's what it's teaching women to want to believe. You have to build everything. And that's why a lot of black women believe that. That's why a lot of women believe that, because people are pouring that nonsense into them. They've never seen it actually done. They've never seen a healthy marriage. So they're going off what people tell them on social media. Oh, the man's supposed to have everything. They didn't see the struggle that they didn't see a two-parent household build their wealth together, grow their finances together, do things together. They've never seen it. They want relationships, but they don't want to work for them. They just want to lay around and enjoy. But like I said, those type of people, they don't really. You just go get a sugar daddy, you know. They're not wives. That's why I don't really, I can't bash them. They're just not wives. I don't feel any way about them They're just not. You don't marry women that think or act like that. If you ain't making $300,000, don't speak to me. Okay. You're not hurting my feelings. Seriously.
That they laughing. They're mocking the people who with their partners handing them the water bottles while they run.
Laughing at the guy.
Yo, get your whole trash ass out of here. When I have a problem with this, it's not even the money discussion, this and that. They're denigrating people who want to struggle together because they love each other. That's what I don't like. There's plenty of women who are willing to work it out with a man.
And this is why I do what I do. I'm not the only one that can recognize this foolishness. That's why I do what I do. And I ain't going to stop doing what I do because it's foolishness. I'm going to point out foolishness. I'm going to keep pointing it out. I'm going to keep talking about it. I'm going to keep bringing it up. Ain't nothing wrong with a woman and a man building something together. There's nothing wrong with that. If a woman wants to meet you at the finish line, she's not a wife. Just pass her up. I mean, if anybody wants to get mad at that, I mean, it is what it is.
Man, he's got potential. If he's working through stuff, he's good. He got long-term goals. He's got good skills for like financial savings, and they're denigrating these people, calling them bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
See, you want to make your choice and go.
That's the trick of the enemy. They want the good is down here, bad is up here. If you're good, you have good characteristics, you have good qualities, you're bottom of the barrel. But if you're stuck up, you're sedity, you're unrealistic, you're materialistic, you're superficial, oh, you're up here, you a bad bee. You see how the enemy does this? That's why I do what I do. I love doing what I do. I love debunking trash stuff. But people just spout nonsense on the internet. I love it. I absolutely love it. That's why Mr. 50,000, he's a complete moron. And it just is what it is, man.
Go after high value men. Go live your best life. I don't have a problem there. Don't mock poor people. Don't mock people who are middle class. Don't make them out to be bottom of the barrel or least desirable. Have you looked at yourself? Have you heard yourself speak? 90% of men who just listened to you said you're garbage.
You know,
she is, because her character sucks. Her the way she thinks sucks. She's only looks halfway decent because she probably put makeup on and all this other stuff, which any woman can do that. You have wives that can do that and look better than her. I know tons of women with better characteristics than that and look 10 times better than her. So, I mean, just saying.
You know what the funny,
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. You know what the funny thing is?
I'm not mad. I am just passionate.
You know what the funny?
As the red pill men say.
Yeah.
Men don't get angry. We just express ourselves in a way that's loud and aggressive.
It makes me think of high school. A lot of people in high school, a lot of girls in high school had that mentality. They go for the guy that's obviously gonna hurt you, or the guy that's. You go for these standards that are like futile and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's okay that you go for that, but you bash the other corny niggas or the corny dude. The guy that's gonna be secure and got your back, that's gonna get your back, you're gonna bash that dude. And then later out you come to find out, oh my God, I can't believe then you were so good when no, but that time is gone and it's too late now. You know what I mean? Eventually you're gonna wake up and it's because of that behavior, people are not gonna want you. You're gonna chase something.
Yep. And that's just reality. But the sad thing is we can't try to save them when they have a toxic dead end mindset, meaning it's going to lead them to a dead end or off a cliff. We can't save them. There's no hope for them. You just got to let them. I mean, you got to let them do what they do. They want to live life that way. We can't. There's no hope for them. It is what it is. You just got to let them be, man. Because we get a lot of people have hearts and want to try to help and encourage. You can't. You really can't. The ones that don't want that, you can't help them. They're gonna be single the rest of their life. That's probably what they want anyway. A lot of them just want an excuse to stay single. They don't want anybody, so they say all these crazy things so you'll leave them alone.
Thing that's really not attainable. Everybody wants that thing. It's not really going to be attainable, and when it's going to time for you to when you're going to realize it's going to be a bit too late. I don't really like breakfast, no matter what. I actually eat my cereal like a toddler. Yeah, I just dip in the box while watching TV. Sorry.
Every industry needs project managers, and a Google Career Certificate can help you get the skills to get the job. You'll learn
Goodbye.
Enjoy it while it lasts, because eventually you're going to want to run, because she doesn't stretch you. She doesn't make you the man that you get, or get you a bottom of the barrel that's going to date you when you have no money.
That's what I was about to ask.
If she doesn't want anything financially from you, if she doesn't have the expectation, and I'm going to tell you this right now, enjoy it while it lasts, because eventually you're going to want to run, because she doesn't stretch you. She doesn't make you the man that you need to become in order to thrive in this world.
Right.
She doesn't set expectations for you. She allows you to be this stagnant dude in the same jeans for...
Not all of them. There are some women that build with their men. Not all these. She tries to. She's trying to demonize actual wife. They try to demonize what wives are. See, wives don't do that. They push each other. They build each other. They help each other. Wives and husbands, they do this. See, this is why I do what I do. This is why, because you got these trash podcasts, these trash content creators that do this stuff. Try to tell you, if you're basically telling if your wife material, you're bottom of the barrel. They're trying to demonize husband and wife stuff, and they're trying to give all praise to this supernatural bullcrap, this superficial stuff, this vain, and want you to give all your thoughts and put all your thoughts and mind on superficial possessions, and he got to make $300,000 a year, and you got to go on trips every week, and all that stupid stuff. I'm not saying don't pursue wealth. Not saying that, no, but that stuff, when you're 70 years old, nothing you did in your 30s is going to matter unless it was geared towards building wealth to sustain you in that age. Chasing, driving, no one cares about what you did when you were 30 and you're 70. Those things won't matter when you're that age. One thing that's gonna matter when you're old is family. You're surrounded by people that love you and care about you. That's what matters. And those are the things that we have to build when we're young. We can't just be getting started at 80. Those are the things that matter. So we have to work on those things now in our youth. But they try to get you to chase stuff that doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with living life in abundance. There's nothing wrong with that. But we've got to remember what's important. Family.
3 days. You know what I'm saying?
And wow, you be cutting up. You talk about me. You be cutting
I'm
up.
a cut up co-queen.
Look.
No. She needs to get off the internet.
You still got it. I don't know about y'all, but I've dated dealers in my past, and that's cute and everything when you're in your 20s.
Yeah,
I'm 35 years old.
Right.
I am not dating no damn dealer. Don't know who's going to run up in my door. Don't know what's going to happen in the streets when we out together. You can't protect me. It doesn't matter how much protection you have on you.
Yeah.
You can't protect me if that's what you're doing and that's your motive, and
that's your fault. If all you dated was thugs, that's your fault. That's on you. It ain't everybody else's fault that you had poor taste. It's just not. So if you chose to do that, then that's on you, ma'am. That's what you wanted to do. Because there are a lot of men that can make decent money. You can date a construction worker. You can date an engineer. You can date a manager of a store, of a factory. You can date. It's a lot of people. There are a lot of people that make decent living. But you chose to date thugs and Tyrones and all that crap. That's on you. So all that stuff, I dated them and they can't protect me. So yeah, whatever, man. Whatever.
that's how you get your.
That's your horrible mindset. So that's your fault. We just go away.
Money. And let's be honest, I don't really know many rich drug dealers because they live that life.
And that's something in you that like that. You like that. You were attracted to that. Every man is not a drug dealer. You just like drug dealers. So you dated them, and you're gonna now. You have this unrealistic approach towards dating because of your experience. Because you like thugs. You went after Pookie and Ray Ray and Tyrone. You went after them. You was attracted to them. But now you want to blame all men. Okay. That sounds really good. That sounds very pleasant.
Spending it as fast as it's coming, they're spending it. And
Not.
so you might come up on a little come up in a man that's like, here, baby, here's 20 bands. And if you're smart with it, you'll go do with it what you know you need to do.
Right.
But when you're with a hustler, you don't.
Because the money keep rolling in.
You're trying to keep up with the Joneses. He take you out. His homies all got girls in Chanel and Balenciagas and whatever. And you like, damn.
Is that what you got? Is that what you got right now? You got a rich dude?
No, she ain't got that.
Dude, hold on. You got a rich. Is that what you got right now? A rich dude that is doing all that? Do you? I highly doubt it.
Maybe it's true.
Well,
maybe she does. Maybe she does.
do.
There's no sense in speculating. I just don't like the generation of people who get on these podcasts and brag about the fact that they're wearing crazy designer brands. Like,
no one cares about that stuff. See, none of this stuff matters. Oh, I got a Gucci bag, or I got this, or I got the latest brand of clothes. See, I don't care about all that crap. If it looks good, I wear it. But all the latest brand, who cares? I don't care about a name. I don't care about it as long as it looks good. If it looks nice, if it's a nice suit, if it's a nice pair of shoes, I'll buy it if it looks good. I don't buy it because of the name, because I care less. All that stuff, I care less. Well, I got the Prada bag and all this. Man, who cares? It's all junk. None of this stuff really matters to me. Just to say you had it, you spend $100,000 just to say you had something. To me, that's meaningless. To spend $80,000 on a car just to say you drove it, to me that's insane to me. That stuff is meaningless. To me, it doesn't mean jack. A lot of people are superficial like that. I'm just not. I don't have to have that. My favorite car was a Jeep, like a Jeep Grand Cherokee or something like that. I don't want this latest sports car or $100,000 truck. I don't care about all that. Just give me a Jeep. I go back and forth. That's all I want. I don't want all that fancy stuff. I don't want these high statuses, these go on these luxurious trips. There's nothing wrong with that because I get to see the world and travel. But I don't have to have the latest and greatest and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on just stuff. All I want is financial freedom. You don't have to be rich to get that. Explain it. Your bills are here, income is here. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to make $1 million. Let's say my bills are $2,000 and my income is $5,000. That's what I want. I don't want to be the richest man alive. I don't want to be the wealthy. I don't want to be like Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos and all that. All I want is for my income to be greater than my bills. Way significantly greater. Let's say my bills are $5,000. My income is $10,000. That's all I want. I don't have to have the whole world. All these people want everything. There's nothing wrong with it. But to me, that stuff doesn't mean anything. It's just unfulfilling. I've tried that. I've tried to pursue those things. It's unfulfilling. You're still empty on the inside. You still deal with internal crap. It's not everything to me.
That's the first thing they be bragging about when they got their partner.
That's not smart.
Like, it is so unbelievably cringe that you guys derive such pleasure and joy from wearing these brands that look down on black people, generally speaking, to begin with. Don't even really want you guys in a lot of their advertisement. And you guys are proudly wearing this shit as if it makes you guys superior or better. It is disgusting.
Yeah, and that is true. A lot of these brands they wear don't even like black people. And they've said it out loud. They've made it known that they can't stand you. but you're wearing it, and then you degrade other people that don't wear it. The brainwashing is like it's beyond belief.
It is like that form of capitalism where folks obsess over Versace and shit like that. That is exactly the thing that tells me that I don't want certain kinds of people in my life. If my friends is like, man, you don't even got Gucci,
So I'm here to check out Keith. He's interested in setting up his LLC for his business. I'm gonna show him Taylor Brands.
I really don't care.
Loser. And if I ever met a girl and she was talking that shit, I would already know she's got lacking values if she's obsessed with this.
If everything is all about fancy designs and fancy this and fancy that and the Bahamas and everything is about is just expensive stuff. There's no genuine conversations about anything else. There's no life topics, nothing we could talk about, share our thoughts, share our opinions, nothing. Just Gucci and Versace and just $1,000 shoes. It lets me know, like you said, it's all surface level. Because a lot of and since she said, if you're a woman that sticks by a man and builds with your husband and builds him, you're bottom of the barrel. If a woman is only interested in the reason why a lot of those women are only interested in rich men and $1,000 stuff, expensive everything, because they have nothing to bring to the table. They have no substance. They have no character. They have nothing. All they want to do is sit and look pretty because they have nothing of value to give you. They have nothing. They can't form. They don't know how to communicate really, unless they want or need something, because they don't know how to communicate. They have nothing to talk about, unless it's dealing with expensive stuff. They have nothing. There's no substance, zero substance, and you can't really. There can't really be a serious relationship when it comes. How can you have a serious relationship? It's never going to go below surface level.
Designer brands. It's fine if you own the shit. If you have a deep obsession or you judge people's value based off what kind of designer brand they have, I already know
it's not.
Your whole shit is out of whack to me. Mm-hmm. She really here bragging about all. Damn. But hey, some people live in a different world. They out here really bragging.
The fantasy world, the no character world, the no substance world, the world that involves, them not having anything to offer, that kind of world, and they're being fed stuff on media that tells them they don't have to bring anything to the table, because a lot of them have no education, no really general understanding about life. No understanding about men. They don't know men. Because they don't care to know men. They just want to use them. Just these type of women now, not all of them. But anyway, continue.
Bragging about the fact that they buy their girl designer shit. Absolute cringe, bunch of munches.
And you like, damn, I need to go get that. And so you go take your little money and you go shopping to make you a little boomerang. Mm-hmm. And now your bank account is suffering. Until he gives you another chunk.
Right.
You don't know how long that's going to be, how long that's going to last.
That's true.
Like you said that out loud and you really thought you said something. And you got two other girls backing you up saying, that's true.
It's because
is it? Okay.
It's not true at all. It's all weird. And the fact that they consider dating drug dealers, that lets you know what kind of morals they have. They're dated drug dealers, and it means they don't care how they get their money. They're not wives, people. And I don't know what kind of guys are still pursuing these type of women. They're not wives. Those aren't wives. They're just in it to line their pockets. They're not interested in really being serious about dating. They just want to line their pockets. You have women that want to settle down and want to be family oriented. Then you have women that are just interested in stuff. They care less about other people, other human beings. They just want things. You just have to know the difference. I'm just letting you know the difference. You can do with it what you want. If you want to go date those women that are interested in things, don't complain when you get everything that comes with it.
You live in their bubble.
Yeah, we don't live in the same lifestyle. And it's okay. If you guys are happy with that, then that's cool. You do you. I think it's hella stupid, but
are they happy with it? Ask the ladies.
They have every right to be stupid. And I'm just saying, If you find someone like that, you have the option to let them be stupid.
Now, ask the ladies how dating in Atlanta is.
Walk away and let them be stupid. Or you can deal with them and watch your IQ drop.
The ladies how dating in Atlanta is. If they happy with it. Ask them how it is.
Because of what? The guys are not good, or because it's all but everybody's gay?
Just ask him how it is.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
I'll say this: you guys would be much more likely to lead happier lives and to find love and to find actual fulfillment in life, spiritually, physically, mentally, if you guys value things other than Balenciaga and fucking Versace.
Tell you what to value.
Actually, degenerate people.
I'm not gonna tell you what to value or not. If that's your thing, that's your thing. And if you're truly happy, then do you, boo boo. And yeah, it is what I'm not gonna be the one trying to convince you. I'm not.
I'm with him. I'm not. I don't. There's no sense in. This is what my whole podcast is about. There's no sense in wasting your time trying to convince them that otherwise. They want to think that way. They think you have to give them $20,000 a week or whatever. You have to make $100,000, $300,000 to date them. I just let them believe it. They can believe what they want. They can do what they want. But and people that come to me talking crazy because I think the way I think, I just distance myself from them. They come on my page talking crazy, talking smack. I just block them. I just get rid of them because I don't have time for that. You know, just find somebody on your level. That's all you have to do. They might, you just find someone on your level. If they want to believe that, you leave them. If you're not up there, their standards are way up here, and yours are. If you're like on this level, you're average. Just stay average. Let them be how they want to be. Let them do what they want to do, because it takes too much energy. That's my whole point. It takes too much energy to focus on that garbage, because they're not gonna change. They're gonna still like what they like and want what they want. So you just let them be. And that's my only complaint with what Kevin said. He spent too much time trying to help those type of women. It's just a waste. It's a waste of time, waste of money, waste of energy. Well, it wasn't a waste of money for him. He probably made a lot of money going live about it, streaming on it. But I ain't gonna waste no time on that kind of garbage. If they want to be like that, they want to be argumentative, they want you to spend tons of money on them, let them live in their own little bubble. And you just go find your real wife. Someone that values people and not things. If they see people as things, there's no convincing them anyway. Their mind is already screwed up. It goes deeper than you just telling them something. They already have an engraved, embedded mindset, and that mindset is they already have a selfish mindset. So that automatically, if you're a husband looking to have a family, that already disqualifies them.
If you need a brand to be truly happy, you're not happy.
You're not.
You're not happy. If you need a Versace label to be able to feel content in life, you're not happy.
And you're never going to be happy.
No.
And it's not.
No, never going to be. Because you don't want to be happy. You lack a lot of things within yourself in order to be happy. Because happiness, all that stuff comes from within. So if you're searching externally for something that can only be achieved internally, you're gonna spend the rest of your life wandering around like a dog chasing his tail. You're never gonna get there. Because happiness is an internal thing. There's something. If you're unhappy, something in here is missing. But you're trying to go out here to get it. You're gonna stay that way the rest of your life. As long as you do that, the only way you're gonna change it is you change the way you do it. But people ain't gonna change it. They're gonna do what they want to do. And again, you just let them.
Never gonna happen.
No,
and it's fine because that bag is gonna be out of fashion. That car is not gonna be a car of the year no more. That year
it's always gonna be something else. Every year it's gonna be a different car. It's gonna be a different model. It's gonna be a different brand. So you're gonna it's a continuous, endless cycle. You're never gonna be satisfied. Sounds a lot like lust and greed, and sounds a lot like the 7 deadly sins to me.
Year is gonna pass. Them shoes are gonna worn out. if that's what you need, you know, and mind you, it's cool to have nice things. I'm not saying no, but if that's what you set your life on, and that, I'm not gonna be the one to argue.
Imagine being in a relationship and because your friends put their girls in Versace, you feel the need to put your girl in Versace. Like, what kind of follower, loserish mentality is that? It's not about the union between you and your partner. It's like, oh, my friends did this for their girl, I gotta do that for my girl too. I don't know. I hate these people.
That's a social media mentality.
I don't hate them. They're just superficial and with a jacked up mindset, but it's their choice if they want to live like that. And we should spend more energy pursuing our purposes and doing what makes us happy. The people that actually still care about people. Talking to them. The ones that aren't, I'm just going to continue making content against it and whatever.
Well, you really just see what you see, and you don't see the inside of it. You don't see of what's going on in that relationship. You don't see how it is or whatever, whatnot. So, I mean, yeah, it's social media. It's what you see on the front, and you're like, I want a man like that. Just focus on you. But it is what
and you notice all of these women, the way they talk, they all want to come on and basically come up off the come up of a man. So he's already made money. I need him to help me invest.
Yeah.
Why? Not because they want to be really good at investing by themselves. They want a dude to be able to teach them. Like, a lot of what they do is just they bring their body and their looks. And then they want you to upgrade their personality and their skill set. They don't want to figure that shit out themselves. They want a dude to basically be the high value man, quote unquote, look down on you and be like, oh, come on up. That's what they want. That's loser shit. That's loser shit. As an individual, you're a loser to me. If you constantly need a partner who's going to be substantially better than you, then what does that say about your partner having to constantly look down to bring you up? If we're using the dichotomy of like, all right, because they're treating it as transactional. For them, it's transactional. So they're expecting their partner to be a loser and to choose somebody who's poor, who's this, who's that. It's like, why doesn't he just choose somebody around his level so he can grow his wealth and do all this other shit? No, he had to bring you.
Exactly.
You up.
Or someone that's gonna be lower, that's gonna be looked down on, but that's gonna shut the fuck up. If you're at that position where you're not at the same level as him, if you want it to be transactional, because I believe that there's some relationship that exists like that. Is everybody happy in there? Meh, some people are. I wouldn't say it's a majority. But if you want to be at that position, that's fine. Prepare to shut the fuck up. Right. You're not gonna have a word on what nothing.
And yeah, he's making a good point again. If you want someone that's way up there, there are some things that come with that. They're not gonna. There are some chances that you might run into a guy that cares nothing about your opinion, nothing about your thoughts, nothing about what you want or what you think or what you believe. They're taking care of you from head to toe. You know, you're going to have to give up some things when it comes to that. If you do get a guy that's interested in you, because a lot of those guys, they're not really interested in average or quote-unquote below average. But if you get that, you got to understand everything that comes with that too. So, just saying.
You know, if I always have to give you money, you're not going to have to say much. There's not much you're going to be able to say because I'm paying you to shut the fuck up.
I don't believe in this whole system. This is not what I think. I don't prioritize financial situations or things like that. I prioritize a set of values, a set of cultural norms and backgrounds that we share in common. That's more.
Yeah, I'm with that too.
Important to me. But for a lot of these people, everything starts with finances and pretty much ends right there.
Yeah.
They'll let you cheat. They'll let you break every rule.
Because that's the only thing that a lot of these people care about. They don't value people anymore. People are no longer valuable. Only resources. That's the way America's training people to think for some odd reason. We're being trained to be attracted to greed and lust and all this other crazy stuff. And none of this stuff matters. None of this stuff we especially when people don't understand, when we get old, we're gonna regret that, chasing all that the material stuff our whole life. But when we're old and can't chase that stuff anymore, now we need people around us that care about us, and we won't have that because we spend our life chasing things that had no value. You're gonna get old one day. You're gonna need people around you that love you, people around you that you're gonna start wanting those genuine connections. And it takes years to build that, and since you didn't do it, now you don't have it. Congratulations. just the way it works.
Rule of a sanctimonious relationship if it means you bring ducats. So for them, that's their paradigm. And I think that paradigm fucking sucks. But again, different worlds, different bubbles, different rules. Anything else? No. Okay.
Calling all marketing pros. We have an all-in-one platform built with you in mind.
I don't care. Okay. Anyway, Anti-Ways. Yeah. That's all I was gonna do today. I just was a chill stream, just so I need to upload more content on Twitch. So, but I decided to stream it on Facebook too, cause it's just, why not? But it's just a chill Twitch stream because I needed to put more stuff on there. But that's all this was. Anti-Ways. That's all I have for this one. I just get tired of all these unrealistic podcasts, these unrealistic standards, and sometimes you just got to turn this stuff off, man. Turn it off and live life. If you need guidance in a relationship, it's best to talk to an actual counselor, actual therapist, someone that has a healthy marriage, someone that's actually succeeding in it, because this other stuff sucks. You know, if they don't value people, talk to someone that at least values people instead of things, instead of stuff. You know, so just saying. Now, done. That's it for this one. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day. I'm probably gonna do some. Got another stream tomorrow, a little religious stream. Like I said, I'm leaning towards more so podcast versus just sermons and messages on my Live for God podcast. It's just more so gonna be like commentary, but it's like a religious stream. But anyway, it's gonna be geared toward women preaching and things like that. But I'm gonna get my content together for all that stuff tonight, so I can do what I do. But right now I'm probably gonna make some Dragon Ball content because my anime page I hadn't been on that all week. I got 3 of them. One for my media ministry stuff. This is my my current events, is my regular topics, and got an anime nerd side. So I'm gonna do some anime nerd content. So I get to express that side. That's why I had the 3 platforms, because I have different sides to myself, because not everyone in this audience wants to listen to me talk about anime, especially Dragon Ball Z and things like that. So I have a different platform for that one. So, but I'll share it. Probably share that YouTube channel on my Facebook for people that want to join it, people that want to subscribe to it, they're interested in that stuff. But I separate it for a reason, because they're different audiences. Just like not all my Christian followers may not want to listen to this stuff, but it's there if they want. It's there if they want to access it, but I don't run it all together. But anyway, last but not least, support the radio station on Live 365 app, YouTube channel. I'm going to start putting more content on that YouTube channel, the radio station, Live 365, T-Dubs Entertainment, the T-Dubs Entertainment Facebook page. Yeah, just those 2 for right now. The T-Dubs Entertainment Facebook page and the T-Dubs Entertainment radio station. Just download the Live 365 app and type in T-Dubs Entertainment, and there you go. So, and I also have instant access to it on my website, on one of my websites, and and I can send you the link. I can post the link, all that fancy stuff. So just I'll catch y'all. Y'all be easy. T-Dub signing out. Catch y'all on the next one.